Welcome back for another deep dive.
Always exciting to jump into these.
You know it, and today we're looking at the world of small cap stocks.
Oh, perfect.
Pulling some highlights from AGORACOM talks.
Sounds good.
And we've got a whole stack of news here.
Yeah, always a lot going on.
It looks like we've got 6 different companies to look at today.
All right.
All sorts of different sectors.
Okay.
Mining exploration, BioPharma energy storage, and even some environmental technology.
Very diverse.
It really
You
is.
can find a bit of everything in the small cap space.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that makes it so exciting.
Right.
There's always something new and interesting to discover.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you never know what the next big thing is going to be.
Exactly, and for anyone who isn't familiar with AGORACOM talks, it's basically a weekly roundup of news and announcements for small cap investors.
Uh-huh.
So it's a great way to stay on top of what's happening in the market.
For sure. And you've picked out some pretty interesting ones from the looks of it. Oh, yeah. I mean, some of this stuff is straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, there's this one company that's using sound waves to map the Earth for mineral deposits.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I know, right?
I'd love to hear more about that later.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to dig into that one.
Okay.
But first, let's start with something a little closer to home.
All right, what's that?
Hangovers.
Oh, everyone can relate to that.
Right. So one of the companies we're looking at today is Quantum Biopharma Limited.
Okay.
They trade on both the NASDAQ Q and CSE under the symbol QNTM.
All right, I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, and what really caught my eye is their connection to this company called Celli Nutrition Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
Celli Nutrition is aiming for a $10 million raise and a potential IPO.
Wow, that's ambitious.
It is, but
Yeah.
here's why it matters. For Quantum Biopharma, they own over 25% of Celli Nutrition.
Oh, wow, so they have a big stake in their success.
Exactly. And they also get royalties from the sales of Celli Nutrition's unbuzzed beverages.
Unbuzzed? What are those?
Well, they're designed to speed up alcohol metabolism.
Oh, interesting. So they help you sober up faster.
Yeah, and supposedly they also help restore mental clarity and reduce hangover symptoms.
Wow, that's pretty ingenious if it works as well as they say.
Right. I mean, think of the market potential.
Yeah, I can see that being a big seller.
I'm just wondering, though, will people actually choose this over, the traditional hair of the dog or other hangover remedies?
That's a good question. I think it depends on a few things, like how effective it really is, how much it costs, and how it's marketed.
True.
People are definitely more health conscious these days, so if they can position it as a healthier way to enjoy a night out, it could be a real game changer.
Yeah, but it's a tough market. There's a lot of competition out there.
For sure. So standing out is going to be key.
Definitely a company to watch, though.
Yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on it.
And this story really highlights how interconnected things are in the small cap world.
In what way?
Well, you've got this biopharma company potentially benefiting from the success of a beverage company.
Huh, that's an interesting connection.
It's not what you typically expect.
Yeah, not at all.
And speaking of interesting connections, that reminds me of HPQ Silicon, Inc.
Okay, tell me more.
They're listed on the TSX-V as HPQ and OTC as HPQFF.
All right, I'll jot that down.
Their Generation 3 silicon-anode batteries are making some serious waves in the energy storage world.
Oh, wow. Batteries. That's a hot topic these days.
It really is, and these new batteries are showing some impressive performance.
Like what kind of performance are we talking about?
Well, they're reporting something like 3,100 milliampere hours of capacity at 900 cycles. And they retain over 80% of their initial capacity.
Wow, those are some impressive numbers.
I know, right?
But I have to admit, I'm not super familiar with battery specs.
Yeah, it can be a bit technical, but basically what it means is these batteries are significantly more powerful and longer lasting than your typical lithium-ion batteries.
Okay, so that's a big deal.
It is a huge deal. This kind of leap in battery technology could mean HPQ Silicon is poised to become a major player in the energy storage market.
Yeah, I can see why you're excited about this.
It's definitely a company to watch for investors who are interested in that sector.
Absolutely. Now let's switch gears a bit and talk about ES Gold Corporation.
Right. What do they do?
They trade on the CSE as ESU and OTC, and they're using this really cool technology called ambient noise tomography at their Montalban project.
Ambient noise tomography. I've never heard of that.
It's pretty cutting edge, basically. It's like taking an X-ray of the Earth, but instead of using radiation, they're using sound waves.
Wow, that's like something out of Star Trek.
Right.
But how does it actually work?
So it analyzes subtle vibrations in the Earth, kind of like listening for whispers.
Wow.
And by interpreting these vibrations, ES Gold can build a 3D map of the underground geology, which can potentially reveal hidden mineral deposits.
So they're basically seeing through the earth with sound. That's incredible. And you said they're using this at their Montalban project.
Yes, and that area has a history of producing gold, silver, lead, and zinc.
Really?
And get this, this is the first time this kind of deep imaging has been done at the Montalban project.
So who knows what they might find?
It's really exciting, and it makes it a very intriguing prospect for investors.
Yeah, I can see why.
I'm really curious to see what they uncover.
Me too. And you know, this focus on innovative exploration techniques, it reminds me of another company on our list.
Oh, really? Which one?
St. George's Eco Mining Corporation.
Ah, yes. They're doing some interesting things with lithium extraction.
They are. They're all about sustainability.
Right, and they just got a big chunk of funding from the Canadian government.
Yeah, over $3.5 million.
That's a significant investment.
It is, and it's all for a lithium extraction pilot project.
Okay, so let's dive into that a bit more.
Sounds good.
They're listed on the CSE as FX
Yeah.
and OTC as SXOOF. And they're focused on producing lithium, but in a way that's much more environmentally friendly than traditional methods.
Yeah, that's right. I remember reading about that.
So you see, traditional lithium extraction often involves large evaporation ponds, which can have a pretty big environmental impact.
Right. They use a lot of land and water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's always the risk of contaminating surrounding ecosystems.
So how is St. George's doing things differently?
Well, they're using this process that recovers over 90% of the lithium from something called spodumene concentrate, using nitric acid.
Spodumene concentrate. I'm not familiar with that term.
It's basically the raw material they extract from the mine, and it's rich in lithium.
Oh, okay.
And the great thing about this process is that it significantly reduces the need for those massive evaporation ponds.
So it's a win for the environment.
Definitely.
But what about from a business perspective? Are there any other benefits to this method?
Absolutely. Besides being more sustainable, it also produces valuable byproducts.
Oh, really? Like what?
So you get high purity aluminum concentrate and a nitrogen-based fertilizer.
Wow. So they're getting multiple products out of the same process.
Exactly. The aluminum can be used in a bunch of different industries, and the fertilizer, well, it's fertilizer.
That's amazing. It's like a triple win.
It really is a great example of how tech advancements can be good for business and the planet.
I totally agree. It seems like St. George's is really onto something here.
They are. They're definitely a company to watch.
Speaking of sustainability, that brings to mind another company on our list today, PyroGenesis Inc.
Ah, yes, PyroGenesis. They're listed on the TSX as PYR, and OTCQX is PYRGF.
That's right, and they've just expanded their contract with the Varennes Carbon Recycling plant project in Quebec.
A very exciting project focused on carbon recycling and sustainable technology.
It sounds like they're really on the cutting edge of things.
They are. This project is gaining a lot of attention globally as the focus on carbon reduction intensifies.
So what exactly is PyroGenesis's role in this project?
They're providing a thermal swing absorption system for the dehydration of oxygen produced from electrolyzers.
Okay.
They're also providing engineering and equipment for a nitrogen loop system.
Got it.
So essentially, their technology helps make the whole process more efficient and sustainable.
Okay, I'm not going to lie, some of that went over my head.
It's pretty complex stuff, but the main takeaway is that PyroGenesis is playing a key role in this innovative carbon recycling plant.
And their expanded contract suggests they're doing something right.
Absolutely. It highlights their expertise and their strong position in this growing market.
It's incredible to see how these companies are tackling big challenges like climate change with cutting-edge technology.
It really is inspiring. It gives me hope for the future.
Me too. You know, this reminds me of a conversation I had recently with a colleague about the importance of investing in companies that align with your values.
That's so important these days.
It's not just about financial returns anymore. People want to feel good about where their money is going.
Absolutely. They want to support companies that are making a positive impact on the world.
Exactly. It's about putting your money where your mouth is.
Right. And a lot of these small cap companies, they're not just innovating for profit, they're innovating for a more sustainable future.
I think that's what makes them so appealing to a lot of investors.
It's about investing in a future we can all be proud of.
Well said. And that brings us back to ES Gold and their groundbreaking exploration technology.
Right. It's not just about finding more minerals. It's about minimizing the environmental impact.
Exactly. Their use of ambient noise tomography is a perfect example of that.
It allows them to explore without invasive drilling, which reduces their footprint and minimizes disturbance to the ecosystem.
Looking back at all these companies today, it's encouraging to see so much innovation in the small cap space.
I agree. They're pushing the boundaries in so many ways.
Finding creative solutions to real problems.
And for investors, it's a chance to be a part of something groundbreaking.
These small-cap companies, they're not just chasing profits.
No, they're trying to make a difference.
It's about investing in a future we can all be proud of.
Well said.
I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have from hangover cures to sustainable mining practices.
Groundbreaking batteries.
It's been quite a journey.
It has, and we've only scratched the surface.
There's a whole universe of fascinating companies out there.
Each with their own unique story.
That's the beauty of the small cap market.
Full of potential and companies pushing the boundaries.
Shaping the future.
If you're looking for investments that align with your values,
That offer growth potential and are just plain interesting.
the small cap market is worth exploring.
Definitely.
Remember, knowledge is power.
Keep researching.
Still curious?
Who knows?
You might just discover the next hidden gem that changes the world.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.